Welcome to another edition of the Midnight Blue and Gold Launchpad podcast, and we're a little bit more happy this week because the Rockets got a victory. I'm Rocket Ryan Brandt.
I am PJ Spiller, a.k.a. Pat Shellick.
I am Dan Rocket Man Savage.
I'm Kyle W.
That's Kyle W. Smith. I'm sorry. I jumped on you there. Kyle W. Smith, engineer, producer extraordinaire. Now, Nate, without any interruption, take it away.
I'm Nate, the Texas Rocket.
There you go. Sounds
and for
great.
you to jump on Nate, that's a pretty big feat.
Hey, it's better than the other way around.
That's right.
So, hey, before we get into the Kent State recap, we have a special guest coming to us north from the border. Kyle, take it away and introduce our special guest.
Yeah, so we have Andrew joining us. We started this relationship here. He submitted a fan question, and he has a group of friends up there that are fans, and we've been kind of doing some fan mail back and forth and gotten a little bit more friendly over the years. So I just thought that maybe it would be nice to get an opinion from north of the border here. And, we're almost mid-season here. And, just see what they're thinking about the season so far.
Yeah, Andrew's kind enough to visit us last year, or was it the year before?
2 years ago, I think he brought down the rocket fuel, which
was gas.
Put a little hair in your chest.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
Oh, that's awesome.
Brought that down full of liquor, Canadian liquor for us, and we love our friends to the north.
Oh
there
God.
it is.
Andrew is from Sarnia, Ontario, the home of Dino Ciccarelli, Kerry Frazier, NFL referee, Ted Garvin, the guy that led the Little Gold Diggers to back-to-back Turner Cups in the mid-'70s, and, of course, the guy who played Reuben Kincaid on the Partridge Family, the one, the only Dave Madden. Without further ado, let's get to Andrew.
Andrew, why don't you tell us a little bit about how you came to like the Rockets? That's a great story.
All right. Well, first and foremost, I just want to say thanks so much for having me on. I wish that the rest of the group could also be joining us. Unfortunately, Monday night's a tough night for some of the boys up here.
Sure.
So thanks so much. There's a group of 8 of us, and we used to go to a city that has both a baseball team and a football team, and we would, we kind of knocked off, a lot of the northeast kind of corridor there, and we were looking for another place to go and stadium to get to. And one of my buddies, Neil Williamson, he kind of started us off. And I think you guys mentioned us a couple years ago on one of your podcasts, and he was in fact playing the NCAA game. And he chose.
It was 13, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yep, that's right. And he chose to be the Toledo Rockets. And so one year we were like kind of running out of stadiums to get to, and he said, "Hey, why not Toledo?" And we went, and we had a great time. We caught a Mud Hens game.
Nice.
Had a great time in the downtown. We love our Frickers. We love the frickin' chicken.
Oh, yeah.
So we always manage to get to Frickers, and we love some of the mommy brew pub beers. And and we love our Toledo Rockets. Our first game was a Ball State game, and we haven't missed. Well, I guess we missed in the COVID years, but we've been to sometimes 2-3 games a year. But
did you start off being Michigan fans or Eastern fans at all?
So I guess growing up as a young kid, I went to a couple Michigan games and then a couple Michigan State games. But I'm actually, I grew up a Tennessee fan from Conrad Holloway, who came up to play in the.
Oh yeah,
Rocky Top.
So, Rocky Top, got her. So,
the old Toronto Argonaut.
Yeah, exactly. And I actually work with the Toronto Argonauts now.
Oh, wow.
So everybody knows why we lost Toledo Jeopardy. You can see basically impossible to beat Rocket Ryan here.
Jeez.
Yeah, but that's not going to make me any money, so I don't know why I retain such useless information.
I was only negative 3,800.
It was like 38,000.
So, Dan, your perspective on the season, or I'm sorry, Andrew, your perspective on the season so far and this past week's game.
Yeah. Well, so I'm glad I'm catching you guys this week and not last week.
Yeah, it was depressing.
A little bit.
I guess coming out of the gates, the Kentucky game was tough, right? And I mean, we usually actually fight the SEC teams quite well, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Arkansas win a couple years ago, and we always tend to do well against them. So I was kind of optimistic, honestly, and I think we were right there with them, right? Like that was a toughie. So I guess I wasn't too down after that. And then there was the home opener that I got to go to. That was in my one game this year, and we had a great time at that one. And then, the funny things start. Well, I guess there was the other blowout against Morgan State.
Right.
And then the funny things kind of happened, right? There was a couple losses there, and we were pretty disappointed. And again, as you guys have predicted in some of your shows, we often drop one game that we should win. And so not to say that it's okay, but you almost come to expect it. But
yeah,
so the Michigan game, or Western Michigan game, I should say, again, you almost kind of take it because it was a deep, late, almost Hail Mary at the end of the game. And you're like, tough one, right? And you think that might be our only one. And then, we came back with another bit of a don't want to say cupcake game on the schedule, but then the loss to Bowling Green. I mean, people were pretty upset, or our buddies were pretty upset.
Yeah.
I can only what it was like there.
I don't know if you heard our episode last week, but we were all very depressed.
Absolutely, yeah. I don't miss an episode. I tune into you guys all the time, so this is an honor being on here. Thanks.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. It never, like, it always sucks to lose a BG, right?
Yes.
But yeah, that was a real bad one. Weren't expecting that. And then when we started to hear talk of like the coach, I was kind of floored by it, right? Like, and was there really a lot of talk down there?
Oh
about?
yeah.
It's all there was on social media.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was huge.
It feels like they're bots at this point. It's just constantly, I mean, we won, and just any post about the game, 45-10, and it's like fire a candle. I'm like, come on.
Blow the candle out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's a story for another day. We don't have to talk about that until we lose again, which hopefully doesn't happen again this year.
Yeah.
But there's an elephant in the room, because we're going to get ready for a road game this week, and Toledo has struggled on the road, right? What's your favorite road combination for jerseys? Because I think we need to switch it up.
Me? Are you asking me?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got to know.
Well, I mean, the all white looks pretty cool with the all white helmets, all white jersey, and all white pants. But I'm still a fan of kind of the navy pants,
Okay.
white with yellow stripes on the socks, and then white jersey with the navy numbers and gold trim.
Okay, so that's what we wore against Bowling Green and lost. So hopefully we don't wear that. No, I'm kidding.
It is clean looking. Like I
Yeah, it
agree
does
with them.
look fresh.
I'm a sucker for the gold pants on the away uniforms. We wear it once a year. It seems like we always win. When I was a child, was our blue helmet, white top, gold pants. Always my favorite look. But we haven't worn it yet, so maybe it'll pop out this week. But if we have to save it for a win, I hope it's later in the year, maybe at Miami of Ohio or something.
Yeah.
Because this game probably doesn't even matter that much. But we'll get to that later on. Andrew, do you have any other questions for us? I mean,
I do. So in a couple of the games, I'm not able to get them up here in Canada. And so I have to just watch the box scores or watch Gamecast on ESPN, where you're seeing the tick, tick, tick going across the screen.
Yeah.
And I wanted to know, do you guys think in some of the losses, was it more play calling or was it the execution of the plays?
Well, personally, I think it was a combination of both. I think there was a predictable series of play calls in both the Western and the BG game, and it seems like it always comes in the second half, and obviously it showed up again this week in Kent State. We came out flat, they scored quickly on us twice, but I think, Candle's prediction or Candle's play calling is predictable. And unless Tucker Gleason is in the groove, it's going to fall apart. At least that's my opinion.
Yeah, and the way I look at it, I mean, those two losses, inexplicable losses we had at Western and Bowling Green, respectively. We just got too tight and didn't put their foot on their throat like Pat wanted to do against Bowling Green. I mean, we had it. I mean, 21-0, and then we got conservative and started playing not to lose. And you can't win games when you do that. That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah, and this season, particularly in my opinion, it's James Franklin 2.0. So
Yeah.
we get off to a hot start, and then we get to the second half, and we're relying on defense and running conservative. As we've gone along, and I've rewatched games, I hate to do it to MAC Player of the Week, but I feel like Gleason doesn't go through his reads as often as he
Nope.
should.
He
And
telegraphs.
This last game was a clinic on, if he did do that, if you look at the box score, the receptions are across the board. And they were firing all cylinders because of that.
They
Which
must have been listening to you, Kyle. 'cause
Yeah, it's what you wanted us to do.
It
I mean,
was.
and yeah, everybody got touches this week.
I was yelling from the stands there when Osborne went in because they had like 3 or 4 design runs right away. And I was like, let them pass.
Yes.
And then they threw the touchdown. And I was like, there we go.
For me, from my point of view, I think it's definitely a combination of execution and maybe not so play calling, but coaching. I just feel like if you have a weak mindset, weak mentality, when you go down, if you fold, that's on coaching. Because there's a culture that works for every team. Every team's different. Every coach is different. And I was actually telling Kyle in the car on the way here, what Candle wants is the consistent every week message, nothing to be too high, too low. Look what happened to Eddie George and Bowling Green. They put it all on the line against us, and they get smacked at home, 15 penalties, 130 yards against CMU. So Candle's probably right. To be honest, he's probably right. But you do got to have a little bit more oomph when you're playing that rival down there in Bowling Green. So it's definitely a combination. I think we cleaned up the penalties this week. That was very nice. Some of that's obviously coaching, pre-snap stuff. I mean, that drives me nuts.
And we finally got down to your 3 penalties.
Yeah,
Dave.
finally. We're back. We're back.
I
baby.
jinxed the first penalty. I mentioned to Pat, I was like, man, it's been a clean game, no penalties. And then
boom.
flag right there. I was like, oh, my bad. Should have waited till after the game.
Execution, though, I mean, Trayvon Rudolph this week had a very good game.
Yes.
He's dropped like 10 balls this year. Stuff like that. Like the coaches aren't out there playing. So there is definitely some execution issues.
Yep.
But
And Tucker tends to overthrow a lot.
yeah, he was fighting the wind. It was pretty windy in the Glass Bowl this week. So
This week wasn't as bad as previous weeks.
No, he had a great week actually.
Yeah.
It picked up by the 4th.
Oh, it was
Oh yeah, it was
Galen
blowing hard.
But really, the main point of play calling that drives me nuts is just 3rd and 4th down in close to go situations. We just were under 50% in 3rd and 2 and 4th and 2 and shorter.
Yeah, we could do that back when we had Penny Boone,
Right.
but we don't have Penny Boone.
And even Chip Trainum being out this week, kind of, Kenji Christian's awesome, but not really
Not quite up to his
short down
caliber.
back.
Man,
Yeah.
I was happy with Walden Zach. He had a few break open, and it was a good game for him.
He runs hard.
Yeah, he
I'd
does.
give it to him, but he's not the biggest cat.
Right.
No,
Andrew,
What do we have any news on Chip? What's
So I was listening to the coaches show tonight, and of course, Mark Beyer asked him about it, and he said, well, they're going to go through practice this week and see what he can do, and that's about it. I mean,
he
we
was
have
in
no
a boot.
idea.
He was in a boot on the sideline. So, I mean, whether that was, prophylactic or preventative. Well, prophylactic means more than one thing. Ryan.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. My mind just goes gutter right
It
away.
means to prevent.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, that does prevent things.
Yeah, it does.
The one that I was thinking of. Pregnancy, VD. Notice I use the old term, not STD, it's VD.
VD.
Venereal disease.
Got the old gonorrhea.
The gonorrheas.
But no,
Boy, Andrew. Well, Andrew's a doctor. He knows what
Yeah.
he's talking about. He's a chiropractor, but I mean, close enough.
he can bust your hip bones up.
Yeah.
Jeez, guys, relax. This is a PG-13 program here. Come on.
Well, he's a chiropractor.
Yeah, I had to throw the disclaimer on the last episode thanks to Dan's tirade, and
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
fair enough.
we're trying to get back on Disney here. Andrew, you had a second question?
And maybe even a third on the predictability of some of the play calling. I kind of wanted to ask about some of the personnel groupings as well. And this isn't even one that we kind of chatted about earlier, but with, like, we had talked about Rudolph kind of having the dropsies a little bit as the Z receiver, like, and Javon Brown kind of being the boundary X. What about Vander Ross and switching personnel up a little bit? And, like, what do you guys think about that as opposed to, or I guess from a predictability standpoint in some of the formations?
Well, we actually, one of the first plays of the game this week, we ran like a little end around to him, and he only got a couple yards, but to run that kind of, almost like a faux reverse was nice. And it wasn't a big play, but we were saying, get the ball in the hands of your playmakers. And
Right.
until this week, really, I mean, he's been our only target.
Yeah,
But now that the defenses are ready for him, you still got to get the ball to him. He's your number one playmaker, just to be frank. So that there was a little bit of innovation, and it just kind of stinks that during the year we save this innovation almost for too long, and we end up losing a few games because of it. Like we saw the Pitt game last year in the bowl game. We ran all these 2-point plays where we couldn't get a fourth down all dang season, and then all of a sudden we have all these plays in the playbook left over. And so I think we just emptied it out, and it ended up working in our favor.
How great was that, though?
It
was
amazing.
It was fantastic for sure. Now I think between even Trayvon Rudolph and all the way down to Eric Holly and the depth at our wide receiver, we just don't really have, I think between the third and the eighth wide receiver, they're on kind of all the same. So it's up to the coaching staff, especially at this point in the year when backs are against the wall. You have to mix it up. You have to find your favorites. And we saw Treadwell this week?
Yeah.
He played
freshman.
He played half the game and had a great saving third and long touchdown, jumped up, high pointed the ball. That's awesome to see, but why hasn't he been playing?
Right.
So there's a lot of, I'm just not, I didn't play football growing up. 2 years, but didn't play. So like, it's hard for me schematically to really give that in depth of an analysis, but it does seem like there is talent there. Let's find the playmakers, especially if we don't have, Chip Trainum here. We got to really be inventive at Washington State this week.
And do you think that's something that our offensive coordinators can handle?
I think they're going to have to rely on the pass a little bit more than they want to.
To be determined, right. I guess.
Right. Well, yeah, I was kind of the same mindset. We have to go to the air a lot more.
I guess what I brought up last week with the target so far, and we saw just a 180 with Kent State. But,
right.
The thing that I can compare it to that they say all the time on TV is to set up the play action, you got to establish the run. You got to make them respect your run game in order to throw over top. And my mindset's the same thing with your targets as your receivers. If you're not throwing to anybody else but Vander Ross, if I'm a D coordinator, I'm gonna lock him up and make you basically use your other targets. And then if you do it, we're gonna have to respect it. And then that frees up Vander Ross again.
Mm-hmm.
There was one point in the Kent State game where Vander Ross was triple teamed. For like 2 or 3 plays in one drive. So some of them are cluing in on it, but I think you guys are right. We have to get the ball in his hands more because with train him out, it takes a big chunk of your offense out.
Yeah, and Javon Brown's specifically, he looks like, he's the prototypical NFL type of guy. He's like 6'3", big body, he's only a redshirt freshman, and he's come up big in some key moments this year.
Yeah.
I do want to use him more, but really, you've got Trayvon Rudolph, who was All-MAC. He was an All-American kickoff returner at Northern Illinois. We have to use him too. This is the last year we have him.
Same thing with Peterson.
And Peterson,
when you've gone to him, he's been sure.
Oh yeah,
1,000%.
Great hands.
Yeah. Nate, what do you see as far as like mixing up the wide receiver room and spreading out targets.
No, I agree 100%. I've always thought Toledo's offense, I mean, is kind of vanilla. I don't know. They don't do a lot of trick stuff. They don't do a lot of flashy plays. They're just efficient usually. You know
They
what I
don't
mean?
do they don't do a lot of pre-snap motion either.
Yeah, I mean, they're good at what they do, and it just works. And I feel like Candle just kind of sticks with it. I mean, I've just never really seen Toledo be flashy on the offense, I guess. They've had playmakers. I'm not saying that their players are not good and make flashy plays. I'm just saying they don't really run like those. You don't see them running with the Lions. They're running like with.
They're not doing gadget stuff.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
And
So-
we're 28th in the nation in yards per game on offense. So, I mean, we're moving the ball pretty consistently.
And
Yeah.
Got to
three-
turn it into points.
and number 3 in defense.
Right. We should be damn near undefeated right now.
I know.
Which is
Third
that's
and
the
three.
frustrating part though. That's why it's hard to be a Rockets fan, to be
Yes.
frank.
It's not for the faint of heart, that's for sure.
So, do we want to get into a little bit of that Kent State game?
Okay, guys, I'm going to just come here and be fully transparent with you. I saw it was 10-0.
And you went
then
to
I
the beach.
I went to the Oktoberfest,
Ah.
which, believe it or not, here in West Palm Beach is actually a humdinger. Kim, my wife, I've never been more proud to be her husband. She
Aw,
won the Stein holding contest.
Nice.
She held a liter full of water. So last
Yep, she's
last
right
woman
up here.
standing, she won it. And we got to keep the Stein, and then of course I had to get it filled 3 times, and that's why I felt like shit yesterday. So
Good job, Rocket Kim.
yeah, Rocket Kim, there we go. I like
Yep.
it. So anyway, I'm gonna just leave it up to you guys because I saw the 10-0 and I was out the door.
Well, Dan and I were walking in the stadium after his fantastic pregame ritual at the tailgate. And
We'll have to film that one day.
yeah, we
And what is that ritual? It's just for everybody out there who wants to know.
You can Spotify it or YouTube it. It's a song called Intermission by Upon a Burning Body. It's not for the faint of heart. It's a very heavy song, but basically it goes, here's to you, here's to me. The best of friends will always be, but if you should disagree, to hell with you and fuck BG. And then we all chug a beer.
Oh, I like it. It's got a
Nice.
ring to it.
So
Yeah.
yeah, we were walking in the stadium, and one of Dan's friends, Skyler, came up and he said, "It's already 7-0." And we're like, "What?"
Oh my god.
Yeah, we walked in. It was 10-0.
Yeah, but we came back from it. We were in tune with the sideline. We were watching. We said, where's the energy? First 2 drives, 3 and out. We're like, come on, what's going on? And then slowly it built. And then even a 7-point lead at halftime felt, fine. We got the ball in the second half, had to win the middle 8, as they say. And then the block punt. That was
That was peak.
turn of emotion. Just like the beginning of the Western Kentucky game, we figured it out. And this team, when they're riding high, is awesome.
Yeah, I saw on Instagram where Cody Thompson gave props to who was it that blocked the punt?
He was special teams player of the
Was it
week per
Russell?
Jason Candle. Williams.
Yeah, he gave props to Williams because obviously Cody had that block punt touchdown.
Against VMI, yeah.
And so that was nice to see. But yeah, it was. I walked in, saw 10-0. I was like, oh my God, seriously?
Yeah, adjustments were made. Defense hunkered down,
Yeah.
and it was all Rockets from that point.
That was my next question. Do you think it was inspiration from the coaching staff, or just somebody made some changes at the end of the first quarter, or what do you think the turnaround was?
I think from watching it on TV, I think we just kind of grinded out. I think Kent State, I mean, they looked like they were like hyped up at the beginning of that game. Like
Yeah.
they were amped, like they were ready to go. And I think I texted you guys. I was like, oh man, this Toledo team kind of looks flat like right now. And I was just like, oh, all right, let's calm down. And I think Toledo just kind of settled in. I think they might have still had some rattles from the BG game.
Yeah,
You know what I
like
mean?
a hangover.
Yeah, so I think Kent State came in and thought like, hey, these guys are beatable, and had that high energy. And I think once we finally settled in and actually just used our talent that we have over Kent State, I think that's when it changed.
I do want to give Kent State a huge props on the season so far because you can
brutal.
look at numbers on your rosters and through the teams on the MAC, but until you see the disparity in person between the number of players on each sideline,
Yeah.
what they've been working with and the record they have, is fantastic.
I think you pointed it out at some point during the game, Kyle, that it looked like Kent State had a half a team there.
Yeah, they're probably not even utilizing the full 53-man travel roster right now. But yeah, I think they have another big game this week. I don't know if it's Miami or not. But then it's 4 winnable games. I've been on their message boards, and like they think that they can go to a bowl game. And hopefully this win turns out to be something actually kind of good for Toledo.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't really. The MAC is so hard to freaking figure out. Every team's like 1-2 or 2-1.
It still is. And I was reflecting actually today and thinking about our losses, and the Kentucky one I figured was going to happen, so I wasn't upset about that. If I could have one of them back, it sucks to say, but I think it would be Western.
Yeah.
Even though I want to beat BG. But if you're looking at MAC standings right now, that would have helped a little bit more.
Yeah, for sure.
On that note, can I jump in with one more question?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Anytime.
Because this is just right in the wheelhouse. About with, like you had just said, the MAC is so crazy right now. We've got 3 losses and not so hot in our MAC, like within our conference record. Is it possible to still make that championship game in Detroit first weekend of December? What needs to happen? I always love those. We need this so-and-so to beat so-and-so, a win here, a tie there, a loss here. What do we know, or is it way too early yet to still look at what our path to a MAC championship game can be?
So first of all, we got to win. Basically, win out.
For sure.
That's my easy answer to a difficult question.
Yeah, I don't think we control our own destiny, but up until this week, even UMass and Northern Illinois are still alive.
Wow.
So that shows you there's not one single team has been eliminated.
Okay.
We've got next week Western Michigan plays Ohio. We know that Ohio plays Miami of Ohio right before Miami plays us, and then Buffalo ends the year at home with Miami and OU. So the league is totally wide open. If I had to pick a team to root for, I would say Western Michigan because they have no losses yet, and we need them to lose 3 to jump them. So we're kind of rooting for a Toledo-Western Michigan rematch. And then I think with strength of schedule, if us and Ohio have the same record, our strength of schedule in the league will be tougher, and we'll go ahead of them. So the new team that really has come into the picture is Miami of Ohio.
Yeah.
They've
won 3 or 4 straight
every year. They suck out of conference, and right when MAC play starts, some of us predicted a Miami versus Toledo MAC championship here. Daquan Finn is back, and they're kind of figuring out how to use him there down in Oxford. So, totally wide open. I would just say if you had to root for another team right now, probably root for Western Michigan.
What about Buffalo, Dan? What's our tiebreaker with them?
They suck. Who cares? I don't think it's going to matter. I think they're going to go to 4-4.
Man, UMass almost helped us out there.
I know.
I wouldn't even worry about them. Again, their strength of schedule, their pod is Akron, Kent, and UMass. So they're going to have probably a weaker strength of schedule anyways. I just wouldn't worry about Buffalo. If, God forbid, they go 7-1 or 8-0 in the league, then it's just not our year.
Yep.
Analysis right there, boys.
That's right. Down and dirty.
Do we have too much more to talk about Kent? We just get into
player of the game.
Players of the game. All right.
Yeah.
I'll start it off on special teams. Let's start it off different. I'm going Mr. Williams there. Blocked punt, take it into the end zone. Nice to give it to somebody other than Cunanan or Bryson Hammer this week, although Bryson Hammer had a sweet catch in the 4th quarter and made something out of nothing, which was nice to see.
I'm the same as you, Dan.
I am right there with you. I mean, that was perfect timing, perfect play.
For sure.
I'm going with Eric Williams as well. Coach Candle and that on the coaches show is talking about how this is a kid who's a walk-on, made the travel squad, works 2 jobs in the summer to be able to afford to play football for the University of Toledo. I should say afford to go to school so he can play football for the University of Toledo. And he said they were just so happy to see what he did on Saturday. So
yeah, he got some huge props from the whole bench when he came back to the sideline. That was great to see. All right, so on offense,
Nate, you don't get a choice.
Oh God, no, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Nate.
Good.
Jesus, Akron.
Woodstock 69.
Oh man.
Go ahead, Nate.
No, ditto. Good. Yeah, Williams, he can take it. He deserves it after that. So same all around.
Andrew, do you have anything different to add?
Yeah, I hate to be a homer, but I think plays like that, you got to give a grinder like that kid. You got to give him the game ball, or one of the game balls, or a player of the game there for sure.
He's also a mucker. Don't forget that. He's a mucker and a grinder. Goes into the corners.
Oh, nice. Offensively, there's probably quite a few options this week. I'm going to go to the guy that every time he gets the ball, I say, that's my guy. And that's Kenji Christian, stepping in big time, probably running some plays that he's not used to running, a lot of like kind of A-gap runs, and he turned some of them into pretty big plays. So he did get knocked down early in the fourth quarter, and we didn't know if he was actually injured, but he got up on his own power, and it sounds like he's going to be running back 1 or running back 2 against Washington State. So I'm going to give it to Kenji Christian.
I'm going to go Rudolph this week.
Yeah.
23-yard average, 5 receptions, 119 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah.
58-yard longest reception. So I honestly could have picked 3 or 4 guys in the receiving room, but I'll give it to him this week.
And I'm torn between Rudolph, actually Tucker Gleason, and Peterson. And I'm going to go with Peterson. He's actually one of our surest hand receivers, even though he's a tight end. He blocks great. He knows the schemes that he has to run, and he scored another touchdown. I mean, I don't know if anybody's listened to this before, but I'm big on tight ends.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Oh, you silly goose.
Woo!
Jeez.
So, Tucker Gleason was named MAC Co-Player of the Week this week, 21 of 28, 294 yards, 4 touchdowns. Good for him. I'm going to give it to Kenji Christian because that's who the University of Toledo football program named as their offensive player of the week. If it's good enough for them, it's good enough for me. Kenji Christian, your time has come.
Yeah, I was kind of in the same boat with Christian. However, I'll go a little different. I'll go Gleason. I've always been the offense moves with Gleason, 21 for 28, almost 300 yards, 4 TDs, no picks. So I'll go Gleason.
And he moved past Chuck Ely and Aaron Opelt on the all-time touchdown passing list this week as well. So,
wow,
good for him.
Nice. So, are we ready to move on to Washington State and the Cougs?
We're not doing defense now, Pat. Come on.
Yeah, Pat.
Akron.
Pat's ready to leave.
Andrew, do you have another player for offensive player too? I'll give you a shout out.
Thanks so much, guys. As much as like Gleason had a great game, I know this is like raising the bar for him. I think we almost need him to do that week after week if we're going to go anywhere. So I don't want to take it away from him because he had an awesome game, but we need him to do that week in, week out, especially in the MAC schedule. Honestly, going into this year, I thought he could be MAC Player of the Year. Mm-hmm. So he had a great game, and I want to keep seeing it from him. And with training him out, we need Kenji to be running hard and running between the tackles, like y'all said. But I think I would go with Rudolph. Personally, I would give it to Rudolph.
Yeah, we do. We need that second wide receiver to emerge, and it looks like they might be the start of that. But I have seen some Northern Illinois fans that say, yeah, he's going to do this once or twice a year, but then he's going to go back to normal. So we'll see. I hope he does emerge as a number 2, and we have that next guy to pull the pressure off of Vandeross. Defensively this week, there's a lot of options. Listening to Coach Candle, he brought Nasir Bowers to the coaches show, and he said it didn't really show up on the stat sheet. I think he had 1 pass defended, but he made a lot of tackles on the edge. I'm going to give it to Bowers, a guy that's been an unsung hero in a great cornerback room this year, safeties room also. I just think he deserves some praise. That's a senior that we're going to miss when he's gone. So this year.
And I'm going with him too, Dan, because I got the stats right in front of me. 2 solos, 6 assists. That's 8 total to you and me.
Wow.
He had half a tackle for loss and 2 pass breakups. So there you go. That's my guy.
I'm going to stick with my boy, Kevon Sherman.
Yeah.
Gets things done, goes in like a rocket. I love it.
Yeah, he's my guy too. I mean, we were sitting there and you're like, Kayvon's having a great game.
Shout out to Braden also for the interception.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that was a great
sure.
play. Yeah, Sherman's so twitchy. He's like really quick.
Mm-hmm.
He's
Yeah,
only a
and Coach
junior.
Candle-
So
I like what I see.
yeah.
And Coach Candle's talking about he's a guy that you got to tell him to slow down in practice because he's just out there almost hurting everybody. So you just got to kind of, tell him to slow down, save it for Saturday.
A little extra caffeinated, it seems like.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm gonna go with Malachi Davis. Had a sack. He's just been consistently in the backfield all year, so I'll go Malachi Davis.
And Andrew?
Let's go weak side background with you. Kayvon Sherman.
Yep.
Awesome. Now we will flip the schedule ahead to our last non-conference foe of the year from Pullman, Washington, the Washington State Cougars.
I guess you could call this the Brian Blair Bowl since that's where we got him from.
Exactly.
Right. And so there's got to be a little bit of extra motivation from the higher ups in the administration in this one. Well, maybe do we have an extra little edge here? This is a show me game. It's a very prove it game. It probably holds a little bit more water than Kent or Akron. You got to go out west. Everyone knows that's a tough travel spot. But they just went to Ole Miss and lost by 3 points. Flew back home to Pullman, did some homework, flew back out to Virginia, and just lost basically in the last minute of the game to the Cavaliers by 2. This is a battle-tested squad. They are San Diego State's only loss of the year.
Pretty solid.
It's a
win as well.
Yeah, it's kind of a team we knew was going to be close. I think before the season we said we'd be like a 3-point underdog. We're only at 1.5-point underdog. At this point, I'm just excited to see the team fight and see what we can do against, a squad that's frankly played better teams than us.
It's interesting, brand new coaching staff this year, but for the longest time, Mike Leach still had his fingers in the program, still running a 4-2-5 with the air raid. And, they wanted to switch it up. They said we need more balanced attack, and they've been doing that. It's almost dead even on rushing attempts to passing, a little bit heavier on passing because they're down in games.
Yep.
But they want to run the ball.
Yeah, this is the head coach's first year, like you guys mentioned, Jimmy Rogers. He's 3-4 at Washington State. 30-7 overall. So the guy knows how to coach. And, they did lose earlier this year. I think it was 54-10 to North Texas, who we all know has had a pretty decent season in the group of 5 programs, had a tough loss at home to South Florida. So, that was a team that went in there and really laid the lumber to them. But Washington State, some narrow losses, like you said there, Dan. This is going to be a formidable opponent. This game, by the way, will be seen on the CW. Ted Robinson, longtime veteran play-by-play announcer, will be doing the game, and Ryan Leaf, the old quarterback, will be your analyst. So
Okay.
it's going to be interesting here. So Ted Robinson, he's been like play-by-play voice for like the San Francisco Giants, Stanford, Notre Dame football. He's been all over the place. The Olympics on NBC. So he's a veteran and an experienced quality guy. So you may want to check him out.
Has anybody watched the game on the CW?
What was that, Nate?
Sorry, real quick. Has anyone watched the game on a CW this year?
I watched Group of 5 game on Saturday on CW.
They have a pretty good broadcast. I was kind of
they do a really good job at it. I can't even remember the teams.
So interesting you brought up North Texas, Ryan, because that was kind of their pivoting point. I did read a few preseason articles just to see what the team was up to. They had 67 new players on the roster, basically brand new everything this year for them.
Wow.
And they had a quarterback battle, and they went with Potter starting out the season. North Texas
Harry?
was the point. Yeah, Harry, the boy who lived. They switched to Eckhouse, who really is a dual threat quarterback. He's had 4 games so far, almost 1,000 yards passing and 42 rushing attempts. So
and 3 touchdowns on the ground. So
Toledo might have their hands full trying to contain him a little bit.
Yeah, this Washington State team was weird because that North Texas game, if I was a Rockets fan watching the film, I'd throw it out. They had five first half turnovers. They were all on their side of the field. North Texas only had 410 yards of offense, and that's pretty good, but it did not yield to that 58 points that they scored. The game got out of hand quick. as you said, Washington State really likes to run the ball this year. Running back by the last name of Voorhees, so that's very fitting for basically our Halloween game of the year.
No.
If we're getting spooky with it, but
Get out.
no, yeah, this Washington State team, if they get game scripted away, we'll fly through it. Their quarterback's got some moxie. I think he's kind of
Moxie?
he's kind of an asshat if I watch the way he celebrates. That's just my personal opinion. But they do like to run it. They've got a lot of small wide receivers. They're quick in space. And then defensively, their 3 leading tacklers are all linebackers.
So they switched from that 4-2-5 to primarily a 4-3.
Yeah.
So a lot more traditional.
Yeah, no, they tackle pretty well, except on the edges. I think they're undersized at corner. So if we have a Vander Ross who can make some quick moves, we might see an avenue to get him some plays in space. But the two of the touchdowns for Ole Miss against them were like little screen passes where it was just one-on-one, and the better athlete at Ole Miss just juked him out, like a yard away from each other, bang, bang, cut. Corner misses the tackle, and then Ole Miss scores. So
I think there's games in the season that you want to stay consistent and you're just running your game plan, and what happens if you execute right. This is a game where you're going in and thinking, I got a point total in my head that we have to hit on the offense, and we got to rely on that tough defense that we have.
So Kyle, mentioning the defense, you noticed that we also run a lot of 4-2-5.
Yeah, that's our primary.
How do you think Washington State will perform up against that same defense that they run?
It depends if we shut down the run. If we shut down the run, we're going to force them into where I think
uncomfortable.
I think the best part of our defense is the secondary.
Yeah.
And it's going to force them to pass, and hopefully our defense steps up, which I think they can.
Yeah, I think so too. So, I don't even know what the line. You said the line's down to 1.5.
1.5 right now. Not a game I would bet on.
No,
everyone.
because I mean we're kind of atrocious on the road. Number one, they got a long cross country flight.
Right.
Do you know when they left?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I would think they would leave today or tomorrow to go out there just to get acclimated to the area. And I don't know if it's, Pullman is in the mountains. I know it's not on the coast, but
it's not far from Spokane.
I've heard it's a little bit of a drive to the nearest airport. So.
Yeah.
It's a game to where I hope you guys are right. Maybe we have that Brian Blair factor.
Hopefully.
But we'll see. I'll wait till my score prediction to kind of say what I'm thinking here.
Andrew, your thoughts on the game?
Well, everything you guys are saying too. I think it's going to be like it's always tough going east to west. I guess I knew that Wazoo was playing well. I didn't know they were playing that well, to be honest with you. I haven't really paid a lot of attention to them. I didn't know they were playing other teams that tight. It gives me cause for concern. Like you said, we haven't really been the best road team so far, but we played Kentucky tough. I got to say that there. So got to give us credit. And I do think I just feel this is going to be the pivot to our season, honestly. Now, whether you call it last week, getting the big back on the right track with that win over Kent State, but I don't want to say it's Kent State, but I think this is one where we get back on track.
Dan, overall for, where we want to be in the bowls, this game matters. What do you think about conference play right now?
I'm glad to hopefully win this week and just watch the MAC crumble around us.
What do you think a loss would do?
Really scare me for our last 2 away games.
Sure.
Because this Candle said last week, we've won 5 out of 37 road games as MAC teams this year. And I don't think it got any better this weekend. So this is about team momentum, team camaraderie. You got to win a road game. You got to figure it out. This is as tough as a road game as you're going to have on October 25th of all time. So we've got to be ready, at least prove that we belong on the field with this team, because, they beat Idaho by like 3. They're not. It was a different time in the year. I get it, but
Well, we had a different opinion when with the Ole Miss game, because I thought it was eyebrow raising, and you thought it was just Lane Kiffin being Lane Kiffin each year.
it isn't. That's an Ole Miss thing, though. My buddy who used to work with me for the Toledo football team, he worked with Ole Miss for 4 or 5 years. It is like a Lane Kiffin thing. The week after a bye, Ole Miss always schedules someone random, and they always kind of go through the motions. And they had a big one on deck, and so it is telling though that
I was thinking that until I was fine being on your side with that until the Virginia game, and then I was like, okay, this is interesting now.
But why would Virginia really care either? Which actually goes into the handicap of this game. Where do we rank on Washington State's power rankings of teams that they play?
And especially next week, they have their rival in Oregon State, or I'm sorry, we're not in East Toledo here, Oregon State. And the first of 2 meetings, believe it or not, because they're both in the Pac-12, which only has 2 teams. They're at Oregon State a week after they play us. So they could be looking ahead to that. I mean, you never know.
Yeah, no, it's like a tough travel spot for them coming back home. But then, the fans are going to be reinvigorated. I saw on their message boards that they were happy that they could even keep it that close with Ole Miss and Virginia. So I think it's a combination of teams overlooking them, but then hopefully now we're the team that's getting overlooked. Yeah. I think if we play them strength on strength, it's going to be a great game, probably pretty low scoring if I would have to guess. I trust us stopping the run against pretty much anyone that we're going to play. But this Voorhees kid's pretty good, and their quarterback, like I said, he's got legs, and he wants to throw it in your face after he does something well. So this is a very big game for us, even though if it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things getting to Detroit.
Nate, your grand thoughts on the game?
Yeah, so I tuned into a little bit to that Virginia game last week, and they gave that game away. They were kind of winning that whole game, and it was just honestly they lost on a safety. They got a safety, and that's how they lost the game. It was tied, and they got safety. So that was kind of a weird way to win it, to lose it. I mean, but yeah, I don't know. This is a tough one. I've always not liked teams going out west. I just feel it's
a trap.
It's a trap. It's just I don't love it. But I think if Toledo plays the game that they can, they as long as you don't do what you did against VG and just completely just get mentally out of it, I think we'll be able to compete and do well.
Well, the last few times that Toledo's gone out west, it was very early in Candle's career. We did go out and we beat Colorado State. We've beaten Nevada. Fresno State, they were loaded that year. They knocked us off. That BYU game was historically fantastic.
Wow. Yeah.
So I do think that we can handle the trip, but it doesn't matter how long the trips have been this year. We've only gone 4.5 hours away, and we still can't win on the road. So this will just be a proof of concept game. Lucky for us, they are going further out west than we have to do because they're coming from Virginia. So
do you think
anything can happen, really?
Do you think that has kind of crept into the mindset of the players or the coaching staff at all? The fact that we haven't won a road game?
It should.
Yeah, I think it should too, but I don't know how much that would play into the psyche of everybody.
But don't you want to isn't that a good motivation point though? I wouldn't say
it should be.
That's happened to me in certain sports. It's like, oh, we haven't beaten this Catholic school in basketball in the last 4 years, and I'm never like, oh, they're going to beat us again. I'm always like, this is our time. Right. We got to show it now. So I don't know. If the team's got any gall, they should be all right, I think.
Andrew, you have anything?
Yeah, I agree with Dan. I think you got to have that mindset every time you go out. It almost doesn't matter what the last 4 teams have done ahead of you. It's this year. It's you guys. It's now.
Right.
It starts now.
And it matters what uniforms we wear, really.
That's a deciding factor when it's a 1.5 spread.
Hey, I'm all about a superstition. I wore this hat this last week. We finally won. so I'm sticking with the hat.
I've got a brand new hat, so
You got a brand new pair of roller skates. Ryan's got a brand new key.
And Ryan's got the key.
So we got some score predictions here.
Yeah, I don't want to start with this one. I'll let you guys go.
I'll go ahead. I'm going to say 27-17, Toledo.
We got Rocket Ryan.
I'm going 24-17 Rockets.
Oh, you, Sarah.
Texas Rocket.
I'm torn. I'm gonna go 2017 Rockets.
Very close one.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so my thought process here is our backs are up against the wall right now. And, I think this is a must-win game. I think they pull it out. From what I saw from Kent State, I think we're a little fired up here after that loss. Let's go out and beat Washington State here. I'm going to say Toledo 24-21.
Another close.
We're all in the same ballpark.
Yep.
Now I am a man of tradition. I'm a man of superstition. So I'm going to go.
Andrew pick. Oh wait, never mind.
No. Andrew will top us off here at the very end.
Cherry on top.
I'm going 22-6 Cougars. It worked last week. We won by 35. Hopefully it works again. I've got one more week if we get it done this week, and then I can finally flip back to being a Rocket backer. But right now, 22-6 Washington State. We just go out and stink it up.
Damn. Okay.
Okay.
Let's top it off with our
I think Andrew disagrees.
north of the border opinions. Go ahead, Andrew.
I totally disagree, eh?
Yeah,
There you go.
I'm going 26-23, a last minute Dylan Coonan field goal.
Nice.
26-23 Rockets.
That's an ESPN
right.
instant classic.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
and another, I don't know if we talked about it while I was up peeing in the trash can, so I didn't make any noise. Their kicker,
Ryan, you got a
Jason
surprise.
has to clean it up.
that's fine. Their kicker is 9 of 10 on the year, and they missed 2 field goals, but one was called back for a penalty. It didn't count. His range is only about 50 yards. Now I know the air is a little bit thinner up there. I think we got a kickoff specialist and a kicker that have a pretty big leg. A field goal game would be impressive, but when they are in field goal range, they will kick it. They have a very good kicker. Just a little added information.
It's a little added value from Dan Rocketman Savage.
So what do you think, guys? Do we put a midnight blue and gold bow on this bitch?
I'd say we do.
Sounds good to me.
On behalf of, and thanks to our special guest before I sign us off, Andrew Westelaken from up by Sarnia, Ontario, by way of this other city he told me that I forgot.
Oh, really?
Give it another shout out.
Thanks so much for having me, guys. I really, really appreciate it. I love your show. Love you guys. I love the Rockets. Thanks so much.
Oh,
Hell yeah.
awesome to have
Thanks
you.
for joining us.
Welcome anytime.
Thank you.
So on behalf of engineer, producer extraordinaire Kyle W. Smith, I'm Rocket Ryan Brandt.
I am PJ Spiller.
I'm not as pissed.
Oh,
Ooh, a variation on the name.
totally
I
redeem
made this
yourself.
Rocket.
If you couldn't hear that was Nate the Texas Rocket. Have a great night, everybody. Thanks for listening. Go Rockets. TOL.
EDO.